Yes, Elena Rybakina really did snub the WTA CEO right after winning the $5 million WTA Finals title. What you saw was not an awkward mistake. It was a calculated, public message sent by one of the tour's biggest stars at the biggest moment of her season. The video clip is shocking. Just moments after defeating Aryna Sabalenka in the 2025 WTA Finals in Riyadh, Rybakina is on stage for the trophy ceremony. She poses with Sabalenka, but when WTA CEO Portia Archer steps in to join the photo, Rybakina deliberately steps away, leaving Archer and Sabalenka to pose alone. An official even tries to wave her back, but Rybakina waves him off. The common belief is that this was just a confusing moment, a simple misunderstanding about positioning on stage, or maybe just exhaustion after a long week of tennis. But the reality is much deeper and much more dramatic. This was not a snub about a photo. This was the final public eruption of a year-long, deeply personal war between Rybakina's team and the highest levels of WTA leadership. We've reviewed the press conferences, we've tracked the year-long timeline of this dispute, and we've analyzed the public statements from all sides. Today, we are answering the 3 key questions you have. First, what exactly happened during that trophy ceremony that the cameras caught? Second, why did Rybakina really refuse to stand with the CEO, a move that goes back to her controversial coach, Stefano Vukov? And third, how did a tennis legend like Pam Shriver just throw gasoline on this fire, and what does it mean for the WTA's fragile relationship with its stars? This story isn't just about a snub. It's about loyalty, power, and what happens when a player is forced to choose between her team and the tour that governs her. So let's get right to the moment that set this all off. This wasn't about a photo. This was about loyalty, and it's a story that has been boiling just beneath the surface since February 2025. To understand why Elena Rybakina refused to stand next to Portia Archer, you have to understand the name Stefano Vukov. Vukov is Rybakina's longtime coach, the man who has been in her corner for her biggest triumphs, including Wimbledon. But earlier this year, the WTA launched an investigation into his conduct. According to reports from The Athletic and other media outlets in early 2025, the investigation centered on Vukov's behavior and whether it violated the code of conduct, with some sources alleging abusive conduct and mistreatment. The WTA took this investigation seriously. In February 2025, they handed down a severe penalty, a 1-year suspension for Vukov, banning him from all WTA events. This decision, reportedly communicated by CEO Portia Archer herself, was meant to be a strong statement about player safety. But it had the opposite effect on Rybakina. She didn't feel protected, she felt attacked. Rybakina went public, fiercely defending her coach. She stated repeatedly that Vukov had never mistreated her and that she did not agree with the WTA's findings or their process. She was, in her words, disappointed in how the entire situation was handled. This created a massive rift. On one side, you had the WTA, led by Archer, stating they were protecting a player based on an investigation. On the other side, you had the player herself, a Grand Slam champion, publicly telling the world the investigation was wrong. The drama continued for months. Vukov eventually appealed the suspension, and as reported in August 2025, the ban was lifted after a private arbitration process. He was back in her box, coaching her through her dominant run to end the season, culminating in this very WTA Finals victory in Riyadh. So when Rybakina stood on that stage, holding the biggest trophy of her year, and saw the very CEO who oversaw the investigation and suspension of her coach step up for a photo, she made a choice. She wasn't standing with her. She didn't snub the CEO over a picture. She snubbed her over what she clearly feels was a profound and unjust attack on her team and her loyalty. And just when this story couldn't get more intense, a tennis legend lit a match and threw it right on top of this controversy. That legend is Pam Shriver. As the clip of Rybakina's snub went viral on November 8th, the tennis world was divided. Many fans praised Rybakina for her silent, powerful protest and for refusing to be fake for a corporate photo op. They saw it as an authentic moment from a player who felt wronged by the organization. But Pam Shriver, a tennis legend and now a prominent broadcaster, saw it very, very differently. On November 9th, Shriver posted a scathing message on social media. She wrote, quote, "Imagine winning more prize money in one tournament than the entire original 9 over their collective careers, then dissing WTA CEO because a CEO has tried to ensure stronger safeguards in your sport? It's hard to imagine." End quote. This one statement instantly turned a player versus tour dispute into a generational civil war. For context, the original 9 are the founders of the modern WTA Tour, the women who famously signed $1 contracts in 1970 to fight for women's professional tennis, risking their careers for the future. Shriver was essentially calling Rybakina an ungrateful, spoiled millionaire who was attacking the very institution that not only protects her, but also made her $5 million payday. This is the most shocking part of the entire affair. It's not just a player dispute anymore. It's a public rebuke from one of the sport's icons. Shriver's argument is that the WTA was protecting Rybakina, but a massive wave of backlash pointed out what they see as a glaring hypocrisy. Fans online immediately jumped to Rybakina's defense. The most common response was, why should Rybakina be forced to be fake and pose with someone she has a deep, legitimate conflict with? They praised her for her authenticity. But the criticism went deeper. Fans and analysts pointed out the bitter irony of Shriver praising the WTA for its stronger safeguards and commitment to player safety when the entire tournament was being held in Saudi Arabia, a country with a human rights record that has been a major point of contention for the tour all year. Other fans pointed out that Shriver's criticism felt selective. They asked why there wasn't the same energy for other controversies, like the Battle of the Sexes exhibition match featuring Nick Kyrgios, a player with his own documented history of controversial behavior. To these fans, Shriver's comment didn't look like a legend defending the tour. It looked like a corporate defender attacking a player for a quiet, personal protest. But what did fans and viewers actually see? Let's go back and break down the tape of the snub itself, because the body language tells the entire story. This happened on Saturday, November 8th, 2025, during the trophy ceremony. Rybakina had just played a flawless final match to beat Aryna Sabalenka. She accepts the trophy, she is smiling, she poses for photos with the runner-up, Sabalenka. They are both professional and courteous. Then, WTA CEO Portia Archer, who is also on the stage, steps toward the center to join the champion and runner-up for the traditional leadership photo. This is the exact moment everything changes. As Archer moves in, Rybakina, who is standing to Archer's left, deliberately takes several steps away, moving herself completely out of the frame. She turns her body away and looks down, making it clear she is not participating. Sabalenka and Archer are left standing in the center, looking visibly awkward. They pause, clearly waiting to see if Rybakina will join them. She doesn't. Then, you can see a tournament official, a man standing just off to the side, gesture to Rybakina with his hand, waving her back and pointing to the center, trying to get her to join the photo. Rybakina sees him, and she gives a quick, definitive wave of her own hand, a clear no. She refuses. The official gives up, and the photographers are forced to take the picture with just Archer and Sabalenka. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't confusion. This was a direct, public, and silent statement of refusal delivered in front of the entire world on the biggest stage of the season. And if that silent video wasn't proof enough that this was intentional, Rybakina confirmed it herself in her post-match press conference. Of course, the reporters in the room immediately picked up on the tension. They had to ask her about it. According to multiple tennis journalists in Riyadh on November 8th, Rybakina was asked to explain the moment and to clarify the status of her relationship with the WTA leadership after the Vukov investigation. Her answer was chillingly direct and confirmed everything. She said, quote, "Well, I think we're all doing our job, and we had the opportunity to have conversations, but in the end, they never happened." Then she added, "So we're all doing our job, and I think we're going to keep it this way." Let's translate that from professional athlete speaking to plain English. We had the opportunity to have conversations, but in the end, they never happened, means Rybakina's team feels the WTA never properly communicated with them or listened to their side of the story during the Vukov affair. It's an accusation of a complete breakdown in communication. And the final line, "We're going to keep it this way," is the brutal part. That is the coldest, most professional way of saying the damage is done, we are not friends, and I have no interest in fixing this relationship. She was not going to stand on that stage and smile for a photo with leadership she feels betrayed her. She said it all without ever raising her voice. This is precisely why Pam Shriver's comment backfired so badly on her. Shriver's argument was based on the idea that the WTA was protecting Rybakina, but a massive wave of backlash pointed out what they see as a glaring hypocrisy. Fans online immediately jumped to Rybakina's defense. The most common response was, why should Rybakina be forced to be fake and pose with someone she has a deep, legitimate conflict with? They praised her for her authenticity. But the criticism went deeper. Fans and analysts pointed out the bitter irony of Shriver praising the WTA for its stronger safeguards and commitment to player safety when the entire tournament was being held in Saudi Arabia, a country with a human rights record that has been a major point of contention for the tour all year. Other fans pointed out that Shriver's criticism felt selective. They asked why there wasn't the same energy for other controversies, like the Battle of the Sexes exhibition match featuring Nick Kyrgios, a player with his own documented history of controversial behavior. To these fans, Shriver's comment didn't look like a legend defending the tour. It looked like a corporate defender attacking a player for a quiet personal protest.
So the photo everyone is talking about is not a simple snub. It's the final, visible crack in a relationship that has been broken for almost a year. The expectation was that this was a simple, awkward moment. The reality is that it was a deliberate act of defiance from Elena Rybakina, stemming from the WTA's one-year suspension of her coach, Stefano Vukov, for alleged abusive conduct. It was a loyalty protest that was then amplified into a full-blown civil war by Pam Shriver, who accused Rybakina of being ungrateful to the tour's founders. And the biggest insider takeaway is this: the tension between players and WTA leadership is now at a breaking point. Rybakina just proved that. Today's stars are willing to use their platform, even in their moment of greatest triumph, to send a public message to their bosses. This isn't just about one photo. It's about who holds the power on the tour. And this story is far from over. But this isn't the first time a player's loyalty has been tested. And it's not the first time a seemingly small incident has revealed a massive behind-the-scenes power struggle. To understand the rules, the money, and the power plays that define these exact moments, you need to see the bigger picture. Click the playlist on your screen right now called the Tennis Playbook. It's our essential collection breaking down the biggest dramas and contracts in the sport.